Zainab, listening to Dansan Omari, you actually begin to wonder whether he's in Kenya, the way he's positioning. We know that presidential debates are best practices globally. Even in places where you don't have a presidential system, you have a parliamentary system, having candidates debate is a best practice. Right now, the UK, the Conservative Party is going through an election, and the leading candidates are engaged in a debate. Kenyans have got valid expectations that Mr. Raila Odinga is going to have a debate with Mr. William Ruto this evening. It's a valid expectation from all Kenyans. It doesn't matter whether you are in Azimio or in Kenya Kwanza. You expect Raila Odinga to show up and debate with William Ruto. Because you have got 3 key items which they must debate. The first item is public debt. It's a big issue that Raila Odinga and William Ruto, they need us to give their position. The cost of living, as well as taking Kenya to the next level from an international perspective. And you recall a few days ago, a gentleman wanted to become president, Mr. Jimmy Wanjigi, raised key issues around public debt. One would expect that the presidential candidates are going to respond to that. And it's because of public debt that we have food insecurity, housing insecurity, fertilizer insecurity, healthcare insecurity. All these things, they flow from public debate. So people expect that presidential candidates will address these 3 critical issues. Now, if for some reason Raila Odinga decides to give this debate a wide berth, is treating Kenyans with contempt. In fact, one can venture and say that he's flipping the bird on Kenyans. Because many people have reviewed their schedules, and they've said this evening between 8 and 10 o'clock, they want to listen to Mr. Raila Odinga and Mr. William Samoei Ruto. So by Mr. Raila Odinga giving this thing a wide berth, he's actually telling Kenyans that I don't care for you, and I think it's a sign of disrespect. But again, one would understand where Mr. Raila Odinga is coming from. Because Mr. Raila Odinga and William Ruto, all of them have got different communication assets. They play in different leagues. William Ruto has got capacity to think on his feet, and he can take questions as they come. And most of the time, he doesn't have a challenge with numbers. At some stage, he exaggerates his figures, while Mr. Raila Odinga takes a while to think about his numbers, but he's a walking, a living encyclopedia. He's got all the facts about Kenya with him. This is what we expected him to do. But again, now you empathize with him. Because what happened with between Rigathi Gachagua and Martha Karua. Rigathi Gachagua did very well because he came to the debate as an underdog, but at the end of it all, he performed very well. Martha Karua came to this debate as Mr. Raila Odinga as a running mate, but as the debate progressed on, she stopped answering questions as a running mate and started answering questions as Martha Karua. Because the elephant in that room, the elephant in the conversation is around the chairman of Azimio La Umoja One Kenya Alliance, President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. There is no way you'll attend this debate without President Kenyatta becoming the focus of the conversation. And right now, it's almost impossible for anybody to defend President Kenyatta. So my suspicion is Mr. Raila Odinga fears coming to this debate because he may not be able to defend President Kenyatta. And if you bring in the issue of, say, corruption, and I can bet my head, Professor Ojwang is going to talk about state capture. If you bring the issue of state capture or corruption and the high cost of living, Mr. Raila Odinga will not have a very strong defense. But he has to defend President Kenyatta because they are part of the same group. So in my view, in as much as Raila Odinga is in Meru today, he can reschedule his campaign structure, come and attend these debates, because Kenyans were pregnant. Kenyans want to listen to him, and not just Kenyans. The East African community, at a global level, Raila is respected as a global statesman. When he goes to Nigeria, he gets a red carpet. He goes to Tanzania, red carpet, US, red carpet. So diplomats are looking forward to this conversation. Indeed, the entire world is looking forward to this conversation. So if he gives it a wide berth, believe you, many people will be frustrated. But because we're in the political space, if Raila does anything today, people within his camp will just fight. They'll say this is a Solomonic act. If Ruto does anything, if Ruto had boycotted this debate, you would predict what Professor Ojwang is going to say. He would say these are Solomonic acts. But let's ask ourselves, what serves our national and public interest.
Right.
And a fallacy has been created that presidential debates do not move the needle.
Right.
They move the needle because Kenya has got about 24%, depending on which opinion poll you're looking at, about 24% undecided voters. So some of these people, they want to validate their positions or they want to invalidate their positions.
Okay.
So in my view, Mr. Raila Odinga must create time and attend this debate.